Hello YouTube, this is my first video, and it'll be on Articuno Garbodor and what it's about. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with this deck, it uses Articuno's Frost Prison attack to paralyze the opponent and keep them in that state. Now with Keldeo EX and stuff like that, Switch kind of wrecks Paralyze, but they can only do that 4 times, but Rush In ability of Keldeo can kind of wreck this deck. So that's why you use Garbodor. Now Garbodor's ability, if you're not familiar, shuts off other abilities if it has a tool on it. So with one Garbodor on the bench and Articuno active, you can paralyze the opponent 80 damage and keep them in that state for, well, as long as you want. Now, I'm just gonna give you kind of my breakdown of the deck, what I like to use in it. Not necessarily the best, but this is what I think is the best. So, first of all, let's start with the basic Pokemon you need in the deck. You need 3 Garbodor, 3 Trubbish, so you can get the Garbodor out, and 3 Articuno EX. Now, that is what a lot of people like to use, a 3-3 line of Garbodor and 3 Articuno EX as the base. I personally only use 3 Trubbish and 2 Garbodor, but, you know, it's up to you whether you want to use 3 or 2. So, yeah, now on to the supporters. For the supporters, I use 4N, which is pretty basic in most decks, 3 Juniper. So that's a little bit less than a lot of decks. A lot of decks use 4, but I'm only going to use 3 in this deck, just because I find a lot of the resources in this deck are very valuable, so you don't want to get rid of a lot. 3 Skyla can definitely help this deck. It can help you get those Colress Machine, which I'll mention later, and help you power up that Articuno as fast as possible, and get those tools you need for the Garbodor. And 2 Bianca. This can also be substituted with Charon, and a lot of people like Sharon more just because it's a guaranteed 3, but Bianca is nice because you can get up to, well, 6. If you are lucky, you can get 6. If you're not lucky, you can get stuck with just drawing 1 card. So it's a little bit of a gamble, but I think Bianca is a little bit better. Now we're going to move on to just the item cards and stuff like that. Just wait. So I use 2 Super Rod. That's optional. You can use 1. I find that with 1, it's kind of, I don't know how to say it. It's better with 2. It helps you if your Garbodors get knocked out or your Trubbish early on, and if you're not running 4 Articuno, because I said you could only run 3 if you wanted to, but if you're only running 3, then this definitely helps if some of them get knocked out. 1 computer search, I might substitute this for a Scramble Switch. Now the reason I want Scramble Switch instead is because if you look at Articuno's attack, it uses 4 energy, and 1 of those has to be special energy, which is kinda, I don't know, it's a high attack cost, let's just say that. But with Scramble Switch, you can switch Articuno with a non-damaged one and keep those energy in play. So Computer Switch is really good, but Scramble Switch I think is a little bit better. I'm having, one of those are in the mail, so hopefully when I get that I can show you guys. And now 3 Switch. I was only running 2, but I decided to bump it up to 3 just because if Garbodor gets catchered out, here let me get Garbodor out for you guys. If Garbodor gets catchered out, its retreat cost is 3, which is pretty brutal, especially late game. If you get that catcher and you can't do anything about it, if you've already used 2 switches, then you're kind of stuck with that, and it's pretty bad when you have to dedicate 3 energy to a Garbodor. Articuno EX only has 1 retreat cost, so that is not too bad at all. And yeah, so Switch, you could get away with 2, but I like 3. Now, I run 2 Level Ball. I only run 2 because there's only 3 Trubbish in the deck, so the chances of you drawing into one are fairly good, and if you don't, if you draw into a level ball, you can get that Trubbish, and you don't need lots of Garbodor in play, so I think 2 level balls is good enough. Now, 4 Ultra Ball. That's pretty standard in most decks, using Ultra Ball, except for like Cobalion, Kling Kling, and stuff like that. Use Heavy Ball, because they can search out their Pokemon, but Articuno only has 1 retreat, and Garbodor is the only Pokemon in the deck that can be searched out with Heavy Ball. And I don't necessarily think it's worth it to add Heavy Ball just for the Garbodor, so Ultra Ball is the way I like to go. And yeah, so 4 Ultra Ball. And then everybody's best friend, Pokemon Catcher, that's 4. I could see you getting away with 3, just because the fact that you kind of stall and you kind of keep them in that lock, you're not going to be catching out a lot of stuff, but 4 is always nice because, well, it's just standard. You know, Catcher can win you the game sometimes, especially against Landorus EX. If you Blizzard a couple times, get some damage spread out, and then you can Frost Prison, and get nice knockouts on Landorus EX due to weakness. So Pokemon Catcher 4, and then the kind of thing that kind of makes the deck run is Colress Machine. Now, if you're not familiar with this card, you search your deck for a Plasma Energy and attach it to one of your Plasma Pokemon. So Articuno EX, being a Plasma Pokemon, can definitely do good with this card. So with 2 Colress Machine, you can get 2 energy on turn 1, and that's not including your energy attachment for the turn. So if you're lucky enough, you can get 2 Colress Machine and a Water Energy, and be able to attach a Water Energy on your second turn to get a turn 2 Frost Prison. Not to mention that if you have Garbodor out, you started the lock on turn 2 with 80 damage at least. So that is really good. And even if you can't get that right away, Blizzard is an amazing attack too, if you don't want to see that. Blizzard does 60 damage, and it does 10 to all the bench Pokemon on your opponent's side. So that's a nice spread. I've actually been thinking of using a Articuno Dusknoir deck, just because Articuno on turn 1 can get that up to 110 damage across the board. Although on turn 1 that's not very realistic, but you can definitely get a nice spread going on turn 1. So those are the trainers for the deck for the most part. Now we have the tools. So the tools I like are EXP Share. So EXP Share is a really good card in this deck just because of, like I mentioned before, Articuno has a pretty high attack cost, but with EXP Share, that kind of lessens it because you can have an EXP Share on another Articuno. When yours is knocked out, you can get that energy back. I only run 1 in this deck though, and I was running 2, but if you have to attach an EXP Share to a Garbodor, it's kind of bad because there's no way of getting that energy off that Garbodor. So EXP Share only 1. I might go back to 2. I'm not sure yet. I run 2 Eviolite. So again, this isn't one that you ideally want to put on Garbodor, but if you have to, it's not the end of the world. It's kind of meant for Articuno EX to soften the blow on them, but if you put this on a Garbodor, it's alright. And then 3 Rescue Scarf. So this is definitely the one that you want on a Garbodor. This can get you those Garbodors back once they're knocked out. And even if, worst case scenario, you attach this to an Articuno EX, it can definitely help you get that back. So, all in all, I might take out that last EXP Share and add another Rescue Scarf. Not quite sure yet. I think 3 is pretty good. So that's a total of 6 tools. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tools. And I was using 7 before. 6 seems like a pretty good amount. A lot of the times when you run 7, I find myself having way too many tools in my hand, and I might attach them to the wrong Pokemon early on, so I don't want to be attaching the wrong tools just because I have them in my hand. So I find that 6 is pretty good. I wouldn't go over 7, and I wouldn't go below 5. So I think 6 is a pretty good number. For energy, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 water energy. And yeah, Articuno needs water energy to attack, so it's pretty basic that you need water energy. I always like to use in almost all my decks 12 energy. So Articuno EX 8 water, and the plasma energy 4. That's the maximum you can run. If you could run more, I would, but you can't run more than 4 special energy cards. So this only gives colorless energy. So the maximum you should ever have attached to Articuno EX is 2, because obviously if you have 3, you're not going to have that energy doing anything. So ideally, I only like to attach 1 to an Articuno, but sometimes I have to attach 2. And the reason I like only attaching 1 is because an Articuno only needs 1 to do its attack. It only needs 1 energy. But if you attach 2 to it, that's another Articuno EX that can't have that plasma energy. With Colress Machine, though, sometimes you have to attach 2 just to get that attack off as soon as you can. So definitely need those Colress Machines to help get those attacks out with the plasma energy. So that is the basic premise of the deck. Some extra cards that I have included in mine is Manaphy, and its ability is pretty good, but that's not the main reason it's in there for, because obviously Garbodor shuts off abilities, so if a Garbodor is out, this ability is not going to work. But if you don't have a Garbodor out and Manaphy's knocked out, you get to search your deck for any card and put it into your hand. So for a non-EX, it's really good, actually, to be able to get that any card is computer search in a Pokemon. So that's one of the reasons it's in here for, because if you don't have a Garbodor out, Final Wish is an awesome ability. Here, if you want to see that. I don't know, it looks pretty blurry. And then his attack, Seafaring, it says, flip 3 coins. For each heads, attach a water energy from your discard pile to your bench Pokemon in any way you like. So, if you get a Manaphy out, turn 1, if you start with a Manaphy, you can Ultra Ball away 2 water energy, if you're lucky, get an Articuno EX, put it on the bench, and then if you can get another water energy in the discard, it's good, but if you can't, attach 1 to Manaphy and use Seafaring. I have many times gotten 3 heads, which is probably just luck. You can get 3 tails just as easily, but it's definitely worth the risk in my opinion. And if you get those 3 heads, that can get you a turn 2 Frost Prison much easier. And I think it's a great addition to the deck, and I would not take it out. I'm just going to open up my binder. Bear with me. Sorry about that. And Kyurem. This card I was using, and it's great. Outrage is 20 damage, does 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So the maximum it could do is 130 damage. Or, no, 140 damage, sorry. And that's pretty good for only 2 energy. Although, at 140 damage, you have 10 health left, not including tools, because you can have Giant Cape and such. And Glaciate does 30 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. No, sorry, to each of your opponent's Pokemon. So, that's 30 damage to every Pokemon on the field. Now, there's only 2 things that are wrong with this card, in my opinion at least. 1, Glaciate uses 3 energy, which is quite a bit. Especially because you want to keep those energies on Articuno EX, because their attack is so high. And for 3 energy to do that 30 spread is pretty good, but for this deck I don't think it is the best, so that's why I took him out. The second problem is his metal weakness, which Articuno EX also has, but you kind of need Articuno EX, so to have less weakness is better. So that's why I didn't include Kyron. So yeah, that's my basic breakdown of Articuno Garbodor. Tell me if you like it, if you want me to do more videos, if what I can improve on. This is my first video, and I have some exciting news for those of you who are watching this video, that when I get 50 subscribers, so that's not too much, I don't think, it's not very many subscribers, 50 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway. And I do have a couple EX cards and ultra rares that I won't mind giving away, like here, I'll show you a couple of them. Celebi EX and Thunderous Full Art will be some of them in this giveaway. I also have, I don't know, I'm not sure yet exactly what I'll be giving away. Here, this deck. Some Moltres EX I can give away. So, I have lots of cards I can give away. So, once I get 50 subscribers, so again, not very many, just 50, I will be doing a giveaway. And I'm not sure exactly how it'll work, I'll see when I get there. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. A like and a favorite will be much appreciated. Alright, thanks again for watching.